Maestro Part 2 shall commence! Where was I now? The Maestro is the best storyteller of all time, but forgets most of his stories, because they are so legendary they have become into absolute legend. Told like Gandalf around the globe. Anyway, back to my story. Part 2. So, where the Maestro left off on Part 1 was the Maestro had just gotten out of elementary school, and he was telling you about how he had been sheltered his entire life, and I had gotten bullied so much, and I told you a little bit about a couple stories that happened. But where it really gets interesting is when I go into middle school and everything that happened to the Maestro in middle school. So in middle school was when the Maestro really realized how much of an outcast he was. In middle school, fuck, I hate getting these larval bitches! In middle school, I remember I went to, like, this school dance, and I couldn't even go inside the school dance because these bullies wouldn't even let me inside, and they made me stand outside in the hallway, and all I saw was the lights and the sexy bitches dancing, and all I wanted to go in there and dance with them, and I didn't even realize that you could go dance with them. Like, I didn't even know that was a real life thing. Like, I couldn't even believe it. And so the Maestro was stuck out in the hallway, and I remember I was on a soccer team, and of course I was the absolute god-tiered player on the soccer team. I was the best player, and but people hated that I was the best, and of course, like, try to fuck with me in the locker room, like, try to do really sketchy shit. Like, this one kid ended up kicking me in the balls in the locker room, and the Mies testosterone did not like that. The mini Mies was not happy about that. Maybe that's why it's 1 centimeter. Damn you, Grofi! 1 centimeter is a lot in Europe. But I ended up having to go to the hosp, and they had to do like an ultrasound on the Maestro's mini Mies because they didn't know if something had gone wrong. And then it was so sketchy. The Maestro did not like that. And then I ended up telling the people what happened, and like a teacher, and then the teacher like brought it to the principal, and then the principal had the kid like he got in pretty big trouble. But that was that wasn't even like one of the bullies who bullied me like every day. That was one of just like a kid who like only bullied me a little bit. So you can imagine like you can't imagine. No one can imagine how much the Maestro got bullied. Like, it was all day, every day, and it was even on the bus ride. Like, and it was like such a cliche thing. If the Maestro even knows what cliche means, who knows what that means? But it was the captain of the football team who like did the most bullying, and he was on my bus ride, so I could literally never get away from him, no matter like what. And he was just there. He was the biggest soy milk drinking bitch fuck. He literally had buck teeth. He looks like a hamster ferret. He looks like a little ferret. Fuck you! And that little ferret bitch. He kind of forgot about me because he was a grade above me. So and probably like in probably like 7th grade or 8th grade he like forgot about me, or 8th grade he forgot about me because then he goes into high school. So then I wasn't getting bullied by him anymore, but then I was getting bullied by this group of like 5 kids. There was multiple groups of like 5 kids who would take turns bullying me throughout the day. And like was so like timid and didn't know how to stand up for myself at all because I had been given no social skills at all. Remember, I've had no social skills throughout my life because my biological mom never taught me any social skills or how to talk or communicate or do anything. So I just pretty much had to like take what people were doing to me, and I didn't know how to stop it, and I didn't know how to like. Well, like I didn't even know what like sex was. I thought sex was fucking someone in a girl in the ass. That's what I thought sex was. And I still to this day love it. The first sex that I love. And I didn't know what a boner was. I didn't know what a boner was until like 10th grade when I was riding on the bus, and they were talking about boners, and I just overheard like what it was, but I didn't know what it was. Like I thought like when my mini mice got erect, 2.5 centimeters. Big damn, by the way. That sometimes really ripped my pants. My baby pants. But when I was legendary. Hold on. When I didn't even know what a boner was, so then I oh, that's how sheltered I was. Like, oh, and then like when I had a boner and I didn't know I had a boner, I was like bending it and stuff and like cracking it. There's no way that's good for like I'm thinking about it now and I'm like cracking the mini mice like in diagonal ways. Fuck! Oh fuck! Thank God it was so small at that point it didn't really matter, I think. But so I look a little bit better in a big camera. So then so I was learning about everything, and like I was so timid that I literally couldn't even, and like just like shy, and like I didn't even know you could like talk in class, like I couldn't even answer a teacher's question, or I remember this one girl, she was so sexy. I ended up making out with her eventually, and it was the most legendary heroic feat of all time. But that came way later. But she asked me for a pencil, and the maestro literally was so nervous that he couldn't even look at her. And then I just handed her like 3 pens and a highlighter. And then she was like, oh, thank you. And the mice was like, holy fuck! The mini mice was so erect, it was unfucking believable. It was unbelievable. That was like one. I remember I was so insignificant in middle school and high school, that even like in the hallway when I would walk around, they'd be like, Mike. And I turn around and be like, oh my god, someone's actually talking to me? Someone's talking to me? I turn around, it's another Mike. Every time. There's not a single time it was me. Fuck! It was so fucked up. And I always remember I was so, like, how do I make girls like me? How do I make people like me? How do I make girls, how am I ever supposed to, I see these guys, like, with these girls, and they're, like, smacking them on the asses and, like, doing all these things that I was like, why I can't even talk to her. The girl asked me for a pencil, I couldn't even look at her. And, like, also I realized it was from, I had no confidence. I had no personality, basically. I was just basically a dead person walking around, like, going through the motions of life, like, because I had been taught, like, no social skills, and was sheltered my entire life, so I wasn't even allowed to, like, play with other kids and do normal stuff. So then I fucking bid. Do you see this donation? Oh, it's in front of my face for a reason. Donate to me, scum. You fucking swines. But then I through middle school, I'm not so unhappy. I don't even want to go to school because I'm having such a bad time. Obviously getting bullied every day. And like it was like it was the I don't have feelings anymore. I don't get embarrassed. I don't get anything anymore because I couldn't even stand like getting up in the morning. I did not want to go to school, and then my home life was horrible too. Like I never had any lunch money, so I never had any lunch at lunchtime. So that's another thing that like set me out from all the other kids. Like I just looked weird, not having any lunch, and like and then like I didn't have any of the interest that the other kids had. They were all like conversating with all the girls and stuff, and whatever they do, like talk with each other and make friends with each other. And I remember in recess in middle school, the kids would chase after me. There was this group of fucking loser bitch fucks, little piglet moron oinkers, who would like follow me around and chase me around because I was the fastest kid in the school. So these scum of the earth bitch fucks would chase me around and try to catch me, and if they ever caught me, which they almost never would, then they would try to like smother me in a pile, like a football pile. Like you know how like when somebody gets tackled, they sometimes like form a pile on top of you? They would try to do that to me and like suffocate me. And I was actually so scared of like not being able to breathe. Like because like it was like so sketchy. It was like 30 kids. It was like no, not 30, like 15 kids who were like chasing me around the playground, and none of them could catch me because I was a speedy god. The Mies sprint was so, the Mies sprint was so fucking fast. It was unstoppable. Nothing could stop me, and I was so good at dodging. Remember when I dodged that tree? I dodged a tree. No one can dodge a tree besides the Maestro. Dodge it! But so all these things were happening, and the most humiliating thing, and why I don't get embarrassed anymore, and so many humiliating things have happened throughout my life when all these kids, it would literally be like a movie scene, basically. These kids would be in front of the girls or whoever it was, and they would make fun of me and all laugh at me, and I would literally have no idea what to say back to them. They'd be like, "You're a fucking bitch," and then I'd just have no idea what to say back to them. And now I'm the absolute best at comebacks. Now if they call me a fucking bitch, I say, "You little fucking grimy little scumbag motherfucking bitch! You're a sly little bitch! You oinker scum! I'm gonna fucking ban you, you little fucking slimy, grimy bitch, motherfucker!" But I had no idea what to fucking say back then. Because I had no social skills. So it was like I just had no idea what to do. I had literally no idea what to do, and I just kept going through life like that, and I didn't know how to make it better. I didn't know what to do and of course, the people that I lived with, my biological mom and sister, made it way worse because during middle school is when, at the very end of middle school, well, since I never knew had any social skills or I knew anything about anything, I didn't know I was being manipulated my entire life. Like, I was made to do things. Like, when my biological mom when I actually listened to her, like, I was made to do this, I was made to do this, I was made to do this, even if I didn't want to do them. If I didn't want to play soccer, she'd make me play soccer. If I didn't want to go with her to fucking somewhere, she'd make me go with her, like, and she would, like, try to manipulate me to make sure that I would always do these things, and I would always feel bad if I didn't do these things that she was saying. And then eventually I realized that, well, after I stopped loving them, I absolutely despised them. But that's farther in the story. On my way through middle school, I was still being manipulated by my biological mom. So I didn't know, like, how life worked at all, and so I basically just listened to whatever she said, and of course that made me no friends. That made it way harder for me, and uh, she was uh, she was basically like, she had after my sister was born, she must be, so there's something really wrong with her, like, because she's scared of, deathly scared of blood. She doesn't want to go outside. She can't use public restrooms. She can't touch the floor. She's deathly scared of germs. Stuff like that. I'm not going to go too much into it, but that made it so, like, I couldn't do a lot of normal stuff that kids would do. And she had done some really insane things, like not letting me do really normal things that a kid would do, and like making me have to do things like, in like, for example, she like bubble wrapped an entire room to open up a piece of mail because she thought there was anthrax in it. Or like not letting me eat peanut butter, or not letting me play outside, or making me go over some kid's house, or like doing any of these insane things. Like there's a million examples. Um, but um, it there was like a give and take. Like I would listen to her, and then be like, I don't want to do this though. Like I don't want to do this. I want to do things that I like to do. But I didn't even know I didn't even know what happiness was. I don't know, at this point in my life, I don't know what happiness is at all. I still don't to this day. Really, I've never had very many happy moments in my life. Darky buddy of C, thanks for the Twitchy P for 4 months in a row. And what I'm doing is building my life up as much as I can, and I've made so many good decisions throughout my life to make my life good. Even though I was getting bullied all throughout middle school, and I'm gonna end it soon because I'm only talking about middle school. This is part 2 of this story. Part 3 gets even way better. In middle school, as I was getting bullied, I did every single thing I could to just be unacknowledged. To try to just literally try to not be noticed so I wouldn't be bullied. And that's such a horrible way to live, because then you don't, your entire life, you're just unacknowledged. Like I was non-existent, basically. Like I was insignificant, non-existent, and as I went into high school, I realized I wanted to be something more in life. And as my personality finally started developing, this was going into the end of high school. I realized I was way more unique, way more legendary, way better at a bunch of things than other people were, and that I could create my own destiny no matter what bad things have happened in my life. And then I'll tell you one more thing about my middle school experience. When my sister was born, that's when things really got bad for me, because apparently my biological mom, something happened with her hormones or something that made her even more insane. And like, just for example, during Corona, she would not let me leave the house. This is 10 years later. She literally would not let me leave the house, and I literally had to remember when I was trying to sneak out to go to McDonald's because I just couldn't get food? Like, But this was not even, I'm talking about not even during Corona. She wouldn't let me leave the house and stuff like that. She wouldn't let me, like, go hang out with friends or, like, go to parties or do normal stuff. But I'm just saying, um, and when my sister was born, it made it even worse for me because throughout the years, my sister and my mom got close, and it made it so there's a two-front thing where my biological sister became way worse than my mom has ever been, and she controlled the levers of my mom. So if she told my mom to kick me out, then C. Lori would come in my room, shut off my internet, tell me to get the fuck out of the house, and I had to spend multiple nights in my car. And I'll talk more about all this stuff later, but I'm just saying that's when things got really way worse for me. Because at least during when I was like 1 to 7, that's when I had it to my own. So Lori couldn't be as bad to me as she could be when she had another child. But when she had another child, that's when things got really, really, really bad for me. Because then she could just be as evil as she absolutely wants to. And then with a reinforcement of my sister and my mom together, that created something that makes it so they would talk behind my back, make sure to get their ideas, and then do really bad stuff to me, like premeditated. And do things like shut off my electricity, shut off my hot water, kick me out of the house, take away my phone that I paid for, take away my internet that I paid for, steal my iPad, delete my Twitter with 20,000 followers, hack my account. So they did all this stuff, and I just showed an ad. Fucking bitch, I accidentally just showed an ad. Fucking, I accidentally on perp just showed an ad. Fuck. So I don't know if you guys can still see my stream, but, as I was going through my life, she was also turned all the people that maybe I could have got along with against me. Like the rest, I had a big, huge family, of cousins, like 40 cousins. So, but then she plants these seeds back from in all these people, because she talks to them on the phone every day, and obviously whoever you talk to, say if you're like my friend, and you're somebody else, and the friend says something about me or about them to me, like what? So for example, C Probe, we have C Probe, and then I have my other friend Sam. If Sam said something bad about C Probe, we're both friends, so I would just go to C Probe. But since I wasn't really friends with my cousins, so basically whatever she told them about me, they would believe. So she would do this to even strangers. We'd be at like the ice cream place or something. She'd be like, "He's so mean to me. You should see how he emotionally abuses. You should see how he emotionally abuses me." Like, well, I'm like 7 years old. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, and it's crazy because the things that she would accuse me of doing, she did to me. It was just like the fake news, how they said Trump does stuff, and then they actually are the ones doing it. But so while all this is happening, I'm getting bullied at school, and I have nothing in my life. I have no friends. I have no one to turn to. And the maestro, of course, raps Eminem, "Lose yourself in the music the moment you want." The maestro sits there and listens to Eminem in his room and thinks of things in his life to get better, and thinks of ways he can make his life better. And I'll leave it with this. As I was going into high school, I said, what can make me famous? Who gets girls? Who actually gets girls? Who do girls like? They like Zac F. Who is Zac F? Zac F is a famous actor. So I was like, I have to become a famous actor. And there was no choice. And from that moment on, I wanted to become a famous actor automatically, because I knew all I wanted to be in life was to be acknowledged. I want everyone to know who I am. And I will do anything in the world to make sure that people know who I am and I leave a legacy that will be insurmountable, majestic, and I will never give up in this life. I press on until the end of time, and no one can stop me. Not all the bullies, not all the scum in this fucking world, because when you're a true hero, you press on, and you never give up. And I never will. Part 2 of the My Story concluded. Part 3 will start with the story of Zac Efron and how he made me want to become a famous actor. Yeah, legendary. Anyways, I really need a Chris Benji Frank.